look who's with us now. You know this man. His name is Nigel Farage, the driving force behind the Brexit and former leader of the UK Independence Party. Nigel, can Trump pull it off just like you pulled it off of Brexit at the last minute?
You know, it feels just like Brexit Day to me. All the smart money, all the commentators, all the foreign exchange dealers, the bookmakers, they all think that Hillary is going to do it. And yet, even those opinion polls conducted by conventional companies who find it very difficult to reach non-voters who are entering the process, even they show it as being so close as to be within the margin of error. We did it on Brexit Day because a lot of people who don't normally vote were motivated to get down to those polling stations and to do their stuff. Trump's got it all to do. He's got to win these swing states. He's got to win, you know, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida. I get that. And yet, I have a feeling that the world could be in for a very big shock tomorrow morning.
You know, on that note, Nigel, we were on the air live as the Brexit early votes, the early returns were coming in. And I remember a distinct moment when the vote came in from Sunderland and Newcastle. I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but that was a key moment because it was obvious that the trend was towards leave, not stay. I distinctly remember looking at the faces of people who were, I would call them the elites. They were almost crying. You think we'll see the same again? Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say it like that.
Yeah,
you know where I'm going with this, Nigel. You know where
no,
I'm going.
I do. I mean, I watched the Sunderland result, and I called the response to that in the room I was in the Sunderland roar. I'll never forget the cheering that was going on around me. But what was amazing about the Sunderland result wasn't just the margin of victory for leave, it was the turnout. It was the fact we were up near 80% turnout, something like 20% higher than we've been in the general election the year before. And this is the absolute key for Trump. He needs turnout up. He needs those people in Michigan, Pennsylvania, those states. He needs people who feel they've been completely left behind by Washington over the last couple of decades, who in their hearts will agree with Trump, who in their local bar will chat and agree with much of what Trump says. He needs those guys and girls to go out and vote today, and that's what we've got to look for. We'll look for the early results, but looking at turnout is equally very important.
Now, let me take you back to the Brexit event. The vote was June the 23rd. On the morning of June the 24th, Britain's stock market really went down, straight down. The value of the British pound went straight down. Has it recovered since then at all?
Well, do remember that I spent 20 years working in commodities and financial markets before politics. So, unlike most politicians on your show, I know something about this. The stock market went straight down. Why? Because all the short-term traders were heavily geared towards the long side, and they were busy stopping out. Thereafter, the stock market went up like a rocket. Our industrial production figures have been up. Our house building figures have been great. And you know what? The fact the pound is a little bit weaker for a country that wants to export and trade globally is no bad thing. Brexit has not had a negative effect on the UK economy. And anyone that thinks that Trump is going to be bad for America and bad for business clearly isn't looking. This guy wants to lift the burden of regulation of small and medium-sized businesses, just like Ronnie Reagan did all those years ago. And can I say, the idea of cutting corporation tax and doing a deal with all those companies who've got hundreds of billions of dollars sitting in Cayman and elsewhere and getting it back into America, frankly, those things, in my view, are inspired. And I think a few weeks after a Trump victory, there'll be a lot of commentators on Wall Street looking pretty stupid.
Yes, you got it. Now, Nigel, before you go, I just want to have a little fun on this election day. I want to read you a mean comment that we received from a viewer. Here's the comment. It said, "Hey, Stuart, how can you be from Great Britain and yet continue to say from whence? Whence means from where. So you are saying from where Churchill is spinning in his grave." I'm not quite sure I understand that question precisely, but Nigel, what do you make of this? From whence do you hail? Have you ever said that in your life?
Well, I learned it when I was doing Shakespeare at school, but I'm not sure that I've used the word whence ever since then. If I have, I would certainly apologise to anybody. And you know what? There are nuances of linguistic and spelling differences between the United Kingdom and the United States of America. And we may be very much smaller than the USA, but I regret bitterly that our relationship has worsened during the Obama administration.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to an American president who recognises who the USA's greatest friend in the world is. And you know what? It's us. It's right here.
All right, nice out. That was you are a very popular man on this programme, let me tell you, sir. Thank you very much, Nigel Farage. We'll see you again soon. And that's a fact. Thank you.